Content over everything. Alright. Big up COE, Eazi's back, Eazi Herbs. And basically I came back down to make sure we can break down all that sources that I was told I was going to come down and do. And I have to big up COE because I had a long lost sister from the other side of the waters in London that I ain't seen for a long time. And basically through the last thing that I did, she must have picked up on it and she thought how amazing it was, and she's kind of into the same thing. So we linked up through the fact of COE, so big up to COE. And my sister Sophia, she can break down
my journey and how I got into veganism.
Hey, break it down.
Can you start?
Yeah, you can start.
Can you start, yeah?
Okay. This is how we're gonna do it, yeah? I'm gonna break down a lecture. I'm gonna break down the elements, the sulfur amino acids that is basically cancerous to our body, and the sources to back up my statement and my claim. So what I will start off with is my presentation is basically called plant-based and animal-based and the chaos that occurs in the body. So I'm going to start off with the meanings of carcinogenic. Carcinogenic is a substance that's capable of causing cancer in the living tissues. And we're going to deal with first a amino acid called methionine and cysteine and how that correlates with the cancer cells, and we're going to break down all of that. So you have to pay attention to understand where I'm coming from. I'm going to break it as slow as possible. So how we start off is where we're going to deal with the sulfur-containing amino acids that I explained to you in the last time. And I didn't break down what specific sulfur-containing amino acids. So now I'm going to break that down. We deal with the there's four essential amino acids. Essential means that it has to be consumed through dietary. It's not formed in your body. And the ones that I'm specifically talking about is going to be methionine and cysteine. Okay. So methionine as a sulfur-based amino acid is a hydrophobic, meaning that it is based in the proteins and it's not in the outside, where the water is protein-based basically. And that's very significant when it comes to our dietary, especially when we're eating meat for that source of protein and all of that. So I'm going to break that down. Methionine is essential amino acids obtained by dietary intake. It contributes in the cellular pool of sulfur base, and it's generally sulfur to the homocysteine. Homocysteine we're going to talk about because a high in homocysteine is also bad for us. It's all about defining how much intake of these sulfur-containing amino acids that we take and how much we can eliminate these occurring cancer cells, because we know that it thrives in high containing amino acids. So, and the genetic defects causing the enzymes and the pathologies are including homocysteine neura and homocysteine amina and neural tubes, also in viral imbalance and associated with multiple disorders like HIV, cancer, Alzheimer's, and things like that. So the sources that we can deal with that can show you that, which is sulfur-containing amino acids and human diseases. That will show what I just spoke about.
And can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So you're vegan, right?
Yes.
Forget all of that. Let's go to the shop. We're gonna buy a chicken burger now. Let's go. Come on. We're gonna buy a chicken burger now. I feel sad, you know.
You feel sad about what?
How you vegan for?
Because it's cancer, man. Why?
Are you aware of
wouldn't
what's
it?
in the chicken that you're eating?
No, I eat meat. I don't eat chicken.
So you don't eat chicken. What meat do you eat?
I eat lamb.
Lamb.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you understand what's in the lamb that you're eating?
It's
Do you understand?
halal in it. It's halal.
Hello, it's
It's
red
halal.
meat.
Huh?
You like the red meat?
Well, I don't know. It tastes nice.
Alright, that way it's the taste. The taste bugs.
But listen, boss. Forget about all this. I see you put on a lot of work, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's go to the chicken shop and let's eat on me, but forget about everything. Even you, but come on.
Okay. Now, of course, now, much love.
What are you looking for? The frozen. So we can just talk about the vegan diet.
Yeah, well, we can talk about vegan diets.
Yeah.
Go on, you can go. Yeah, you can.
All right, so I'm vegan, and I've been vegan for about 6 months now. My journey kind of started about 5 years ago when I had a predominantly plant-based diet. It affected my health where it came to a place where I was infertile, I couldn't have kids. And it wasn't until me changing my diet and having an increase of fruits and vegetables and going to vegan and having predominantly plant-based diet that I was able to heal my body. I think one thing that people struggle with a lot is feeling like they kind of don't know where to go with the vegan diet. They don't know how they're going to consume the right things. They maybe turn vegan and they find that they're having issues with maybe energy and stuff like that. Well, I'm saying my approach is all about mindset. When you're, oh, should you move it?
Yeah.
Oh, from your
Most, yeah. 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 Left.
All right, yeah, so the main thing is, is being aware of what you're eating. So if you're going to turn vegan, making sure you know why you're going vegan. Currently, animal products have a lot of chemicals in them. You know, not only do you have to worry about the carcinogens that are in the animal products, but you've got vaccinations, growth hormones, you've got the antibiotics that the animals are being pumped full of, and all these things are toxic to the body. So a lot of people think, oh, okay, it's just protein that I'm eating these animal products for. When it's not just the protein that's the issue, it's the chemicals found in the chicken and the meats that people are eating that are causing diseases. And this is something that you want to think about when you're switching to vegan, knowing why you're going vegan, saying, okay, I'm switching to vegan not because it's the latest fad, but because I'm trying to remove the toxic chemicals from my diet and to basically ultimately have, you know, increased health. Do you want to touch on anything?
Yep. Plant-based. Let me go back to my my presentation before I got rudely interrupted by someone that wanted to make some jokes and all that. But we go back to something serious because we're dealing with people's health. So I take that kind of serious, real serious. I don't deal with foolishness. But anywho, we go back to methadines and we're talking about how the sulfur-containing amino acids affects our bodies. Yeah. We need to look at meat now. Going back to what you're saying about how these elements form in our body that are actually cancer agents in our body. We deal with meat and we can compare it with vegetarian or plant-based diet. So for example now, like I just broke it down, methionine is another form of high sulfur-containing amino acids, yeah? The content that you will get from meat compared to plant-based, the sources is there. The source is methionine function and food source and side effects. So you can look that up. The source is there. In my presentation, I'm going to be soon pulling out so I can break it down a little bit more better. So the high content in methionine in animal product, we're looking at about 6 grams, yeah, 6 grams, 6.8 grams, yeah, in animal protein. And to compare it with plant-based, we're looking at about 2.3. It's about 2 to 5 times more methionine in animals than in plant-based. Yeah. So when you start researching about methionine and how it correlates with cancer cells, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to start dealing with sulfur-containing amino acids without being specific. We need to start being scientists and stop just randomly just throwing out words. So I'm going to break that down and take my time with it so you can understand it. So the next thing we're going to deal with, yeah, we want to deal with methionine and how it correlates with cancer cells now. Yeah, we know that our cancer cells is cells that in a bunch. Well, we know cells, yeah, trillions of cells is within our body now, yeah, trillions of cells. And within those trillions of cells that's within our body, you know that you have abnormal cells, mutated cells, and we want to deal with how it causes these mutated cells and how it works in, and how methionine is a form of where cancer cells can feed off and actually survive and grow and then flourish off. So that's how we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down, bunch of idiots, but we're going to break it down of how cells group in tissues and organs, and how genetic nucleus within each other will grow and divide and normally follows instructions. We know that the cells here contains a nucleus. Nucleus is a form of gene, yeah, which is DNA in it. So it works as a instruction, yeah. So within cells in your body, they communicate through sending frequency waves to other cells, yeah, to tell each other cells what to do, how to behave, how to correlate with other cells, how to multiply and turn cells into other cells. That's through DNA within the genes, in the nucleus, yeah? So when we understand about that, we understand that through cells, there has to be instructions made. It's called DNA, yeah? Mutated cells. I'm gonna break into that, I'm gonna have to throw that in. I'm gonna throw that in and come back out with it. Mutated cells now. Mutated cells is when abnormal cells or cells that are growing, it's been lacking in certain nucleus form, which is DNA, where they can't follow instructions now. So you have cells without certain components that comprise in a cell. For example, nucleus is not either working properly or is pure and is basically rendered useless. These cells are sitting and it's basically sitting in your body. Through compromising your body through dietary and many other sources. So I won't just say dietary, but dietary is one of the main sources. But you got environmental, you got other type of harmful substance that's out there that it can trigger these muted cells that are lacking of nucleus or other components within the cells to function in the to function. And basically, what I'm trying to say, breaking down, that within these muted cells, you have a thriving need or dependent need for these cells to react. These cells don't react over in an environment that is basically alkaline. I'm going to throw that out there, but I'm going to try to get specific after. But the term of alkaline diet is prominently out there, but I want to try to break it down a little bit more. So in an alkaline diet, there shouldn't be no provoking them abnormal cells to react into cancer cells. That's the main point I'm trying to make. And then we have to look at how these sulfur-containing amino acids contribute to the provocation of these cancer cells. I don't know if you want to break in and help out a little bit about that.
What I kind of want to say is that, just so we can bring it so people can really fully understand how their diet impacts the kind of production of cancer cells, you got to think about chemicals like that are found in the meat first of all. You've got chemicals as well, hormones like IGF-1 that cause cancer cell growth and support cancer cell growth. So when you have these things in your diet, you're constantly feeding, the growth of cancer and mutations and basically aiding it. Not only that, they're very acidic. The more acidic the environment is within the body, the more available it is for cancer cells to grow as well. So what we're trying to get at is how the animal-based diet basically induces these sicknesses within our body and doesn't help us to thrive, as opposed to plant-based diets which actually counteract those things. So I think we'll kind of get into that in it.
Yeah, definitely. I think she can put it in a better way for people to more understand. But
yeah.
I think I tried to do it the last time, but I don't think people got it. They thought I don't think people got it. So I do really want to attack the information in a scientific way, because I want people to research and actually be scientific, than actually just be a lot of this name and fame and or not understanding the depth of this these toxic environments that you're putting your body through. Like a lot of people want to save money and do a lot of things, but if they're not putting enough emphasis in your body, then what you're investing for, like, you know what I'm saying? People putting money into mortgage but don't even invest into your diet.
Yeah.
So like what, when you break down and your body starts breaking down, like how are you going to pay for that mortgage? So we want to start looking at that. Your health and your body is your God, your temple.
Yeah, it's the first thing.
So, and then when people start talking all this meat talk, and it's all toxic that's coming out their mouth, you can see people that come around like some idiots saying, throwing these marks, you can see that they're eating red meat because of the words that they're even coming out their mouth. So I don't want to really get too deep into that, but we go into mutation of cells and how they grow and how they actually, to help these cells grow, they're going to need certain factors. So my studies have showed me that an abnormal cell, which is a cancer cell that is sitting, waiting to be provoked in your body, needs a trigger. Yeah, so I call it trigger. The triggers is many different forms, like I just explained it before. But the ones that I'm picking on is dietary. And we're talking about the protein that's in animal-based dietary, yeah? So we're talking about methionine, yeah? Methionine. In many types of different cancer cells. Methionine at a high content of sulfur amino acid, a high content. So I'm not trying to say methionine is bad. Methionine in plant-based is good, but we can go into the way that it works as well, because it works different. The way that like animal protein methionine works is different than the way that it's plant-based. So we need to look into that after as well and have a discussion about that. I got that here. But what I'm saying is cancer cells need methionine to actually grow and survive. Normal cells, yeah, without no mutations, do not need methionine. It doesn't need it to survive and sustain its growth. It can metabolize and it can do its own thing. DNA corresponds, and it does not need methionine. Cancer cells does. Studies shows that. You can go look into it. And what it does, it uses methionine as a source, yeah, of growth. And a source of growth. The source of growth. And a recent study has shown that if you restrict methionine out your diets, it shows that it starves the cancer cells, and it actually makes it weak. It makes it weak. That source and that, if you want to look into that, is the role of methionine in the cancer growth and control. This is quotation from it, and it shows that recent studies show that deprivation of methionine from your diet, a very low intake will kill the process of cancer. Study on breast cancer and prostate cancer suggests that deprivation reduces the growth of tumor and selective of death of cancer cells. So taking methionine out of your diet or using it at a low context, it actually attacks. It will help attack selective cells. So it doesn't attack normal cells. It helps attack the cells that are cancerous. So that's very important. I don't know if you want to carry on with that.
No, continue with this.
Okay. Now we're gonna come off. No, we're not gonna come off, because through understanding methionine, it will correspond with the other causes and side effects, because it's a domino effect. Once you have a high content of one high sulfur containing amino acid, it will start creating more problems. For example, homocysteine. Homocysteine is a combination of methionine and cysteine, producing homocysteine. Yeah? And basically, homocysteine is a combination of both of those essential amino acids, and it produces a unique type amino acid. But we need to understand that homocysteine is good for you, and it works in its own benefits. What it does, it helps with the okay.
I mean, like.
Homocysteine. Okay, I didn't. Okay, I have to go back into the homocysteine. Okay, I'm going to the amino acid. Okay. I kind of put more focus on the side effects more than the process of what it actually does and the benefits. So we go to the side effects of homocysteine. Homocysteine in a high form is called hyperhomocysteine anemia, and it can be tribute to artery damage and also blood clots in your blood vessel. High homocysteine levels usually indicate a deficiency of B12 and folate. Folate is like fulvic acid. B12, we know that you can get B12 from bacteria as it forms in your gut. Yeah. Sources of B12, meat can say it's in there, but it's secondary source. So that source is obviously compromised, and we can go into that as well. But my main point of that fact that it's high in homocysteine is through the fact of the containing amino acids. And the normal homocysteine level in the blood is like 15 micromoles per liter. So, well, it's less than that. And most people get their high homocysteine levels, don't get enough fulvic. So the people that get this high homocysteine levels are the people that don't get the fulvic acid, aka folate, B12, and also the non-heme iron. Non-heme iron, we all know that it's in the form of plant-based. The fulvic acid or the folate you'll find in plant-based. The B12 is a little bit compromised through the fact, but then even then you can get B12 from mushrooms, as my sister brought up. So all of these three factors, you can get it on plant-based. You ain't gonna get folate or fulvic acid from any meat source. And even onto the non-heme iron, like I said, the heme iron is already carcinogenic, so you don't really want that base anyway. So we go into that a little bit more, and we deal with the reducing of homocysteine by avoiding methionine again. So, like I said, it's a knock-on offense. If you knock the foundation, you're gonna knock down the top head. Methionine is the foundation. That's what I brought out first. But I have to show you how it correlates with everything, like homocysteines, and how it correlates with thiol imbalance, how it correlates with multiple disorders like vascular diseases, Alzheimer, HIV, and cancer. So it's a knock-on effect. It's a human pathology. So we go into that a little bit more. I don't know if you want to drop anything in there, sis.
No, not initial visual presentation.
Nah, let's go into a little bit more now. Let's go into, so we deal with the homocysteine, we deal with the methionine, and now we're gonna go into triggers, more triggers now. Cause I forgot I dealt with that. You can do your research on methionine and how that depriving it
Kills cancer cells.
kills cancer cells. So you can go into that, and you can go into through that you will find out all the homocysteines and anything to do with sulfur-containing amino acids will fall into that link. And so now we go into a little bit of triggers that I ain't brought up last week, like mucus. I know a lot of people hear these mucus terms, especially from the great teacher, the great teacher, Dr. Safiya, that passed not too long ago. And we want to try to break it down a little bit in my way of breaking it down. So we know what the mucus is, like a slimy substance that is secreted by mucous membrane in glands of animals and lubrication and protection. So it can be used as a protection because we have mucus in our nostrils, there's mucus in our stomach lining. So what I'm saying is mucus ain't bad for you. But like I said again, what type of mucus? And is it natural mucus that is formed in your body, or are we talking about the intake of animal producing mucus? Now, you know that excessive mucus is in the line of compromising cancer cells, compromising pH levels, and making the environment acidic. Okay. So, study shows that basically too much build-up of mucus can produce thick mucus that can clog up lungs and the digestive tracts. Yeah. This study source comes from the uncover of clues about overproducing of mucus and asthmas and colds. Yeah, mucus can also hide cancer cells from T cells. So now we're dealing with cells that in the lymphatic system. Now we need to talk about the immune system and how it works and how it has nodes, lymphatic nodes in certain parts of the body where they're based at, and how they send other cells to go investigate any cancerous diseases or any type of mutated cells that they might need to get rid of. So we need to deal with that. That's the immune system, and that's the lymphatic system, yeah, and lymphatic vessel and noise. Yeah, so we need to look into that. Yeah, mucus basically covers up these cancer cells. So with their slimy texture, they kind of block out these cells when the T cells, which is the killer cells, just attack foreign agents, yeah, like bacteria, any type of disease. These T cells are out there to attack it, and the way that they attack it is more like they run over it. It's more than how other normal cells will communicate through frequency waves, telling it to shut down and telling it to do whatever they do. These T cells actually trample over the cells. So mucus, excessive mucus, especially from animal, excessive mucus actually forms a protection for these cancer cells to sit there and thrive. So we need to understand about that. So that's very important. And I don't know if you want to go into mucus a little bit.
I'm alright.
Okay, that's all right. So that's a Dr. Safiya mucus understanding about it. We need to understand excessive meat, acidy, diet type, proteins or source of dietary causes excessive mucus. So that's what Dr. Safiya was pushing, and I promote that. Dr. Safiya goes into a little bit more, trying to tell you that you have to check the fruits and the pH level basically, and that's potential hydrogen if you don't know what that is. So let me go into more triggers. I'm a little bit more. I'm going in, boy. I have to go in a little bit. So some triggers. Okay. pH level, the potential hydrogen. We need to understand. We need to go a little bit deeper. I mentioned it before. How the pH level of a body is about 7.2 or 740, which is neutral. And basically, there's a lot of I would say there's a lot of people saying that you can't change pH levels, and if you drink alkaline water, it just comes out your urine and all that. It don't actually affect your body. I differ in certain ways where I can. Well, study shows that actually the pH level of your blood can be compromised. And
Acidosis.
oh, acidosis, as you broke it down.
Yeah.
And within your lungs and kidneys, it plays a key role. So, lungs and kidneys and malfunctioning. Your pH level can be unbalanced, distributed by the acid diet, can lead to medical conditions called what?
Yeah, I can see him. Like, you're right in front of him.
Acidosis and alkalosis. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, you want to break that down. Acidosis, obviously, what she just broke down is when you're compromising the pH level of your body by consuming a lot of acidic food. And acidic food you find in abundance in what? Meat sources. So acidosis causes asthma now. Emphysema, and it can also give you a brain and a nervous disorder, extremes, so it attacks your brain cells, your neurons and all that, and disorders of sleepiness, confusions and headaches. So acidosis, the source of that is pH imbalance and how your body maintains an acid-based diet. So we go into another trigger.
So it's basically when we focus on foods that are predominantly acid forming, they affect the pH of our blood and basically make us more susceptible to certain diseases. Not only that, do they cause inflammation? So that results in a lot of these manifestations that my brother here has just explained.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go into insulin growth factor.
Oh, IGF-1.
Yeah, IGF-1.
Yeah, I spoke about that briefly earlier. I think a lot of people don't understand, and this is what I'm trying to get people to understand is the things that you get and the chemicals that you get within meat. One of the things is IGF-1, and IGF-1 is one of those chemicals, a growth hormone that is actually involved in every single kind of process of development of the actual cancer cells within the body. You remove that and you remove its ability to thrive within the body. So as we're basically seeing from my brother here in his presentation, is that animal products constantly contribute to sickness and pathology developing with the body, and that's the issue with the animal thing here. This is why a diet high in fruits and vegetables which promote a more alkaline environment actually help us to move towards health in a better way than producing animal products.
Yeah. We need to understand the form of how these elements or these essential amino acids works within those environments.
Yeah.
As in, for example, methionine in plant-based has a biosynthesis, so it moves different. It simplifies. You know what I'm saying? Animal-based methionine don't sympathize. It can't correlate with cysteine, so yeah. So all right, I don't want to go too much in it. All right, insulin growth factor. I want to go into that a little bit. Yeah. So the other term of it is somatomendin. See, and it's a molecule structure of insulin growth, and it plays in all your hormones and everything, and it's important in child growth and anabolic effects in adults as a protein and decoding the genes.
Well, having an X of it is bad.
100%. And to promote each stage of cancer development, of growth and cancerous cells.
Yeah, because the thing is, you've got to think about is IGF-1 is a growth hormone. And cancerous cells are cells that are growing uncontrollably. It's an uncontrolled growth. They're in an uncontrolled state of mitosis. And so when you've got excess levels of growth hormone, That's the reason why you get metastasis. Metastasis? I can never say
Yeah,
that
yeah,
word.
autopsy,
Where the cells constantly divide and you get spreading all over the body because of that growth hormone. So in order to, if people that have cancer that are constantly eating animal products are basically feeding the cancer, they're not helping, themselves go into remission because they're constantly feeding the tumors and feeding the cancerous cells throughout the body.
Okay. All right. So she covered that. I think that's greatly as well. Now we're gonna do with Tylo. Tylo. Okay, we do with that quickly. Cause I'm just gonna smash it. I don't want to be here for too long. I'm a little bit cold at the moment. But Tylo is a Tylo compound. Okay. Thiol compound is a form of where thiol have two central roles in cancer biology. One in the cancer chemo prevention and the other in the cell growth. So thiol is what controls and grows and help the cells function and signaling. It's most significant in the adequate sulfur amino acid intakes as a photochemical in the, So basically, thiol is like a synthesis which eliminates mutated chemical and prevent early stage of chemical carcinogenic. So you need thiol. You need thiol, and the thiol is one important thing that you must have. But the thing is like I said again, we can go into that. You will find a default if you have too much of it. So we're just going to go into the fact now of how understanding how the role of growth control and cell survival signal rapidity in development in the second area of critical importance in nutrients and cancer. The most highly active and most reducing form of sulfur in biomolecule is thiol, present in the amino acid of cysteine. Cysteine is present in the active site of many protein and protein motif that function in the enzyme regulation, protein trafficking, control of genes, expression and receptor signaling. Cysteine is primarily obtained through dietary protein or through the transsulfuration of essential dietary of amino acids and methionine. The principal regulation occurs in the reversible oxidation of thiol in proteins in terms of switching magnesium. Okay. My point is that high sources of methionine and low sources of methionine that can. Oh, sorry. What I'm gonna try to put that down a bit more. Okay. I'm going to try to break it down in pathology and the issues that I have with meat source. Just try to break it down and end it a little bit more quicker. The issues I have with meat source is the high methionine. I'd like to have a discussion if anyone in the nutrition or scientific or biology want to have something to say or want to have a conversation about. They have to explain the sources that I'm giving them of how high methionine in chicken and fish, and then milk, red meat, and how it's low in methionine in plant-based. And also how having a high homocysteine is made, and how Okay, I don't know if I'm going to drop in fan.
mean, like for someone that's, for example, what advice would you give someone that was basically thinking of being vegan, not really sure if they should go vegan, not really sure if they should maybe just cut down the meat or, you know, cut it out completely? Kind of what advice would you give them? Would you say they should completely cut out the meat, or would you say that it's something that needs to, it's okay to be cut down in the diet?
I would say, me personally, I would say, I say whatever, like, I would say you go check up with the doctors, find out your blood type, and then basically, if you feel, no, if blood type shows that you're more sustainable or more acceptable to plant-based diet, then you might have to try out. I always would refer back to the doctors before you choose that diet, before you end up jumping into something that you're not really capable. I always refer into doing research and everything before you jump into anything. It's like a form of medication, and that's my brother. He's coming in there, cause yeah, to jump in there. Yeah, that's one of my brothers in the vegan diet. Yeah, but so that's what I would do to answer that question. I don't know if you want to come in and help and break down some of these scientific elements that I'm using. I broke down methionine. I don't know about you. You know about methionine? Okay. Another thing about thiolon imbalance now. Let me just break the recent study that is shown. Yeah, recent study is shown that the involvement of iron and thiolon compound during carcinogenic and in cancer. It recognized that cysteine, glutamate transporter, and antimatter and intimately associated with ferroptosis. Yeah, is an iron independent, non-apoptotic form of cell death. So basically, ferroptosis is a function within your cells where functioning in your cells is like a T cell. It attacks selective cells. Just to break it down like that. It unlike apoptotic. How do you pronounce that again? Apoptotic. It attacks, unlike apoptotic, it attacks specific cells. The cells that the ferroptosis, it focuses on cancer cells. So we need to understand that thyroid brings up the ferroptosis. So it gives you the right cancer fighting tools for your immune system to help fight these mutated cancer cell agents. You'll find high thyroid in plant-based. You won't find high thyroid in meat-based. You understand? So that's the whole. But ferroptosis, you need to check up that word. Yeah, it's a type of programmed cell death dependent on iron, to accumulate lipid peroxide. And the research identified that the ferroptosis can contribute in the medical field as aiding with cancer treatment where the form of cell death is induced in the human body. So they're using this, they're extracting it from probably plants, but they extract it from more other sources, but they are using it in cancer treatment. So modern science are using plants and extracting these elements that you find in plants and using them in cancer treatment. So the source of that, you'll find that in iron and thyroid as two major players in the carcinogenic friend or foe. You find that source in there. That's like the presentation. I already had a week to study and all that to break it down, but I'll definitely come back and break down a little bit more and break it down, bringing down more scientific terms and have you understanding it a little bit more. And my sister can break it down for the people that want to dumb it down and understand it a little bit more clearly. She's here for that. So another thing as well, my brother here with veganism, he needs to come and break down some knowledge about science because he's good, he's on it. You know what I mean? And I definitely brought down some stuff that I said I was going to bring down from last week. So I'm going to show you some products that I brought down that I sell and I move it in my area. So we do that.
I'm vegan,
Question.
yeah.
Can you throw that some questions and all that? We're going to promote this Irish moss. Yeah. I read a little comment where it was like malnutrition in veganism, and I'm thinking malnutrition. Okay, I was like, can you show me where meat is used for any type of medication? Can you show me where meat has 92 minerals? Can you show me where you can find iodine in meat sources? Now, sea moss has 92 minerals and many more vitamins. It's got B6. And another thing that I was shocked out, someone was saying something about vitamin D3. Nah, yeah, but yeah, I explained that last time about the B12 can be formed in your stomach because of the bacteria. But D3, someone threw that out. But the thing is about D3, which is an animal and it's not in plant-based, so of course you won't find that in plant-based. But if you would have done the research, you'll find that there's something called D2. D2 is plant-based, sympathizing of the UV light from the sun. So, and another thing about that, you can naturally produce D3 from the sun, so you don't need to get it from the meat. People are just throwing out some stuff and don't really go do the research, and half of it is like other end and void. What else is another thing? Well, anywho, sea moss, Irish moss, aka sea moss. Let me clear up something. 100%. Yes. The Irish, yeah. And they survived along with Irish moss. Gives you the 92 minerals because it forms of rocks. It forms of pebbles. It leaches onto a rock. That is minerals condensed. So if you want to talk about evolution and how we even come into being, you want to do with how the ocean and how the rocks and the minerals are formed. Then you can have a better understanding, and then you will know about the seaweed, and you can do it with Irish moss. There's different species of Irish moss as well. So, or red angling, it's a species of seaweed, and Irish moss. What's the other one? Conchus crispus.
Something like that, yeah.
There is many different types of seaweed, Irish moss or sea moss, but you definitely got that. Yeah.
How would you say that the best way to prepare it is?
To prepare it, it's just that you find a container, you soak it in the container, because as it's from the sea, you're going to have some sea salt, you're going to have some stones and whatnot, some poly seashells, so you rinse it out, get all the grit out, and basically rinse it out until the water that's in it is kind of clear through, and then you have it soaking and leaving over the night, and the next morning you see how it will flare up and expand because it soaks into the water, and then you basically heat up, like put it in like a bowl and a kettle. So when you blend it, because you have to blend it, you get more out of it. So you blend it up, and then what you do, you put it in a glass jar, let it cool down, put it in the fridge. It lasts for about 2 to 3 weeks, and you take one spoonful, you can chuck it in anything, soup, drinks.
I use it on my face. It's great for your skin. It's great for your skin.
So it clears up all your acne, your bumpy face, make you look young. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're at the age of 50, you're good and looking like 20 at least. But yeah, another thing. Another drink I do with that. I don't know if people want to deal with that. Stamina Conqueror, all roots and all that. It's got donkey weed in this one. It's got green bark and that, but this ain't my drink. I'll also have my own one that's soon to come. But I do actually make the purple blossom water. It's got cinnamon and lime. So this is purple sea moss, and it's good to go. I bought some down because I did say that I was gonna bring some down, and yeah, so that's it with that. I don't know if anyone wanna drop any questions about anything. Then yeah, I'm thinking how's your veganism diet going on?
It's good, but I've been in like 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
There's a lot to learn. I think when it comes to veganism, there's a lot of growth that takes place. And I think a lot of people get discouraged and they might jump off the vegan diet. But I think it's important to make sure that you know that the food that you're getting and educating yourself.
It's fueling.
Yeah, it's fueling you and that you're getting the right balance of those foods. Because even for me, like, I take my health seriously. Like, I will get tested to find out if I'm deficient in anything. And I can say, okay, I need to increase this or I need to increase that. Like, I got tested. Everything was great, but my HDL, which is my high density proteins, were low. Is it done now?
They ain't finished it?
Oh, the battery died. Oh.
Oh, the light. Oh, it's still on then?
It's still on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my high density proteins were, like, cholesterol was low.
Yeah.
So I basically just started to increase my fatty acids, my nuts and seeds and stuff. So it's all trial and error, like, but still
Yeah,
really.
because I speak to people like my friends and they're like, oh, how do I substitute cheese?
Yeah.
But like, I'm telling them like the alternatives are much nicer.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
they
They are.
you don't try it if you're a meat. You don't try these things. Like, just go
Exactly.
to milk, cheese.
It's true, man. It's true. It's true.
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna promote your platform as well. My sis, yeah. My sis.
Be shy. Promote that.
I know,
Promote
innit?
that.
No, I'm newbie, and like,
Yeah, so what?
I want her to for her to expose her like degree and all of that, go into what she does and what she does.
Yeah.
I want her to do that definitely, Francis.
I have a degree in biomedical science, but my passion is nutrition, and so I spend a lot of my time like studying things like this. Came up with my brother today to support. I have just started a channel on YouTube about how I basically reverse infertility with nutrition by changing my diet and things like that. So if people want to go on YouTube, it's Sophia Murray. That's my name on YouTube, and I've also got Sophia Murray as well. SAFIYA MURRAY on Instagram as well, and I do posts on there as well. So yeah, that's how this channel is new. I'm just building it up at the moment.
Yeah.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, I got to start.
I'm
somewhere
definitely
again.
gonna be on there. I'm gonna
I'll
be
be getting
kicking at science as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and another thing as well, I'm gonna get my sister to do a lecture, a breakdown, more hopefully better than how I did, about about how women would benefit out of that benefit without the acidy diet for one, and then promote things like breastfeeding and how that is nutritious for the child, cleansing with the reproductive area, and how cheese actually gives you kidney stones because it's calcification. Remember that? I broke that down last time. Calcification is where you overload in calcium without the company of magnesium and the vitamin D to absorb it. So that causes kidney stones and all this type of stuff in men and ladies. And another thing called Circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm determines what time that you should be eating and what time you should be eating and how you're performing and all that. Because when people throw out like dinner now, dinner shouldn't be dinner. Dinner should be afternoon. Your biggest meal should be at 12 o'clock. Dinner, I'm not saying I ain't saying don't have dinner. I'm trying to have your small, like your dinner time around 8 o'clock, because you shouldn't be eating no further than 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Because it gives your colon area time to actually digest, because it needs to rest. People overload their colon area, and then they run around, and then you have like food sitting over in your stomach, rotting up or whatever. Maybe not rotting, but have it sitting overnight. You see what I'm saying? And then it has to rework when you wake up in the morning. So, and it causes complications. You see what I'm saying? So we need to understand about the circadian rhythm, because it works. Everything works in the circadian. The plants, everything. You see what I'm saying? The fish, the animals, they wake up, they do things when the light is up, they eat at the light up, and then when it comes to night, comes down, they start laying down, and that's the resting time. You see what I'm saying? So we need to understand that. We understand that more, because that throws us out. So Circadian rhythm, you want to look, you want to learn that, you want to study that, and yeah. So she's definitely going to come down and break it about the ladies and how vaccinations as well, because when kids are born, and the doctors put these lights to try lights over them to try artificial lights to that kind of does have a corresponding with the child, traumatic, and then when they start throwing some vaccinations that, especially when they start entering into nursery and all them type of things, they're saying that they must get this and must get that. But then if you do your research on everything that the doctors might try to give it to you, just ask them, give me what you're injecting my child for. Or they might give you a list. And when you do that list, you might do the study and you find that breastfeeding might even cure these, because I found that with my child. And I told the doctor, no, she can have one, but the rest is done through my mum. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you stop drinking these, like this cow breast milk. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because if anything, like, unless you can show me that there's a lot of, because you do get up to an age where you're not even meant to be drinking milk. Children and kids are meant to be drinking milk, not adults. You see what I'm saying? So it corresponds with nature. What are we doing? Are we fighting against or are we working with? So no, I think it's definitely to be continued on the next one. And then I'm more than happy. And any questions or anything? And then if not, we can wrap it up. And big up COE for bringing my family a little bit closer. And I hope to see you, cause you ain't here. But, All right, cool. Shout out. That's it.
ContentCOE everything from your melanin.
Yeah. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen. COE. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky TV. I just listen to COE. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't listen to Sky Man just listen to COE. Man, just listen to COE.